And as I wrap up the show, it's time for a recap. 2022 is almost over and the year was like no other. A war in Europe upended lives. Natural disasters became common as the climate crisis worsened. Inflation became a part of daily chatter once again. And who can forget, we saw protests against dictatorial regimes, some of which continue to this day. So when the world was falling apart, what were you doing? Let me guess. Were you lazing around in bed, snacking on a bag of chips, surrounded by a general sense of apathy with the world? If the answer is yes, trust me, you're not alone. Like scores of others, you too were in Goblin Mode, which is why this has been chosen as the Oxford Word of the Year, with more than 300,000 English speakers voting for it. So what is Goblin Mode? It's slang. It's a type of behavior which is unapologetically self-indulgent. If you're in Goblin Mode, you're simply lazy, you're greedy. Do your parents have high expectations from you? Doesn't matter, because you don't care. Your boss waiting for you to meet a deadline? Doesn't matter. You'd rather binge watch your favorite series from the comforts of your couch. So why has this rather unflattering term come to define a whole year? Because it has come to define the mood of a generation this year in 2022. Lethargy, apathy, self-indulgence. These are the adjectives being used to describe what people felt this year. But it's not all negative, because there was also a sense of rebellion against the status quo. It all began in the months following the pandemic. Restrictions were lifted. The world opened up gradually, but many weren't ready. They weren't ready to head back to the concrete jungle for boardroom meetings, for in-person classes, for one-on-one consultations. They weren't ready for normal life, and they stayed back in Goblin Mode. They took to social media to advocate for work from home. They voiced their opposition to unsustainable lifestyles. They rediscovered themselves within the confines of their homes. They rejected current priorities for new ones. They quit their jobs, looked for something with more meaning. So Goblin Mode also gave them room to experiment, to shut out the noise and find themselves again. But then again, here's my problem. My problem with staying in the so-called Goblin Mode. Eventually, you became lazy. You forgot about challenging these social norms. Instead, threw all semblance of routine out the window. You ditched all notions of self-improvement and simply stopped caring. Which is why a term from 2009, Goblin Mode, has come to define us in 2022. We saw the rise of apps like Be Real, where users would post random photos of whatever they were doing. Forget about filters, forget about curated news feeds, forget about pandering to social norms. Enter Goblin Mode. There was only one motto: do what you want, as you please. But as you get ready to say goodbye to 2022, I want you to ask yourselves, is this really the right approach? Don't get me wrong, being real and authentic never gets old. But lethargy and apathy won't get you anywhere. You may be overwhelmed by social media, by the noise around you. But not caring and being self-indulgent is a dangerous cocktail for your future. You may think there's a war in Europe, there's the doom and gloom of inflation, the talk of recession, rising prices, mass layoffs. So this Goblin Mode seems the easy way out. Stay under covers. It's easy to say you don't care. It's easy to say you'll do what you want. But as we head into the new year, you must care about what's happening around you. You must pay attention to global events, trends, and movements. Only then will you be able to prepare yourself for what's coming in 2023. Stop being a spectator and be an active participant in your own life. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.